Right now, there's more financial advice available than ever before, and sometimes it can be difficult to know what to listen to and what to ignore. So in this video, me and my brother, who are both qualified accountants with over a decade of finance experience, are breaking down 4 pieces of financial advice that almost everyone follows and why it could be keeping you stuck financially. Starting with your car. Cars can be a quiet wealth killer because they are essential, monthly payments are predictable and affordable, and for that reason, car payments don't feel like a big issue.
But owning a car for me is a non-negotiable. I need it for work and everyday use.
The issue isn't owning a car, because I totally agree with you. For most people, owning a car isn't essential. The issue is how much people are willing to spend on it and the amount of future flexibility that you're willing to give up for it, which I don't think most people realize. Because that monthly car payment can quietly determine your monthly stress, your ability to save and invest, and even your financial flexibility. The average monthly car payment in the US is $700 per month. If you decided to invest that amount for 35 years with, say, a 7% annual return, you could expect to have over 1.2 million invested and would have only put in 300,000 of your own money. So, by deciding to opt out of that monthly car payment and instead buy an older or more modest car, or even keeping the car you have right now for longer, you could be taking that first step to building real wealth. This isn't about being extreme and buying the cheapest car possible, because reliability matters. But there's a difference between buying a dependable car and buying an image. Next up is renting.
I'm not sure on renting because I always hear you're just paying someone else's mortgage. It's money down the drain, or you could be getting yourself on the property ladder.
These are things a lot of people will tell you about renting and why you should buy instead. And if you're in your 20s or your 30s and you have everything mapped out and you know exactly where you want to live for the rest of your life, then buying is likely going to be the better option for you. But for those of us who haven't got everything mapped out and don't know exactly where you want to live, what lifestyle, what area, then you might also want to consider renting. Some advice that often gets ignored is that buying a property isn't just the monthly mortgage payments. The average deposit in the UK is around £61,000. And that's an opportunity cost, because that much money tied up in a deposit can't be invested or leveraged elsewhere. Let's not forget stamp duty, which will likely be between 2 to 5% of the property value. Maintenance cost is typically between 1 to 2% of the property value per year, and other costs like insurance, taxes, and so on. So, as you can imagine, there are huge initial costs which go into buying a house. But there are also a lot of ongoing costs which people typically don't account for when making this huge decision. And that's not me saying that buying isn't the right option, because it might be for you. What I'm saying is, let's not completely rule out some of the benefits of renting and why that too could be an option to consider. For example, if you value flexibility or mobility, you're early in your career, or you're even just trying to figure out how and where you want to live. These are just a few of the reasons why renting might be an option for you to consider, and why we need to ignore the traditional advice that renting is just money down the drain. Because the most expensive housing decision isn't the one that doesn't build equity, it's the one that stretches you too thin and adds more financial stress to your plate. Another piece of financial advice that almost everyone hears is just save as much as you can. Saving is a responsible way to build a financial cushion, which can be used for an emergency fund, achieving short-term goals, and reducing financial stress. There's absolutely no denying that. But what happens after that? Past a certain point, saving more money becomes an inefficient use of your cash, because its intention is to preserve money, not grow it.
So at what point have I saved enough? And what can I do instead, which will be the most efficient use of my cash?
In most cases, a sensible cash buffer would be 3 to 6 months of your essential outgoings. Once you have that covered, cash has done its job. This is when the focus needs to shift towards investing or different possible avenues that can increase your earning capacity. Let's not forget, you can only save as much as you earn, but investing and earning more isn't capped in the same way. Cash keeps you safe, but assets is what's going to move you forward. So if you want to focus on building real wealth over time, eventually your money needs to start working for you. And the final piece of financial advice that so many people follow that could be keeping you stuck financially is lifestyle inflation. As income goes up through promotions or pay rises, spending tends to keep up at the same pace. a nicer car, a bigger place, more expensive holidays, and so on. And on the surface, that might look like progress. But what actually happens is people never get to experience the benefit of earning more money because their costs are increasing at the same rate. And the reason this happens is simple, because lifestyle upgrades are immediate, visible, and socially acceptable. No one notices you investing the extra money or building financial flexibility because all of that happens behind closed doors. But everyone notices a new car or a bigger home. The problem is, when your lifestyle grows as fast as your income, financial freedom never shows up. And that is exactly why a quarter of workers earning over $100,000 a year still say that they're living paycheck to paycheck. One of the most powerful things that you can do is slow lifestyle inflation down. Let your income grow faster than your expenses and use that gap to buy flexibility through investing, reducing risk, and building options. Because real progress isn't what your lifestyle looks like, it's how much control you have over your time and money. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 4 pieces of financial advice that is socially accepted and followed, which could be keeping you stuck financially. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.